Retired. Who do you think is among the top of the light heavyweight division now that you relinquish your post and enjoying your retirement in life?
Yeah, it's up for grabs. You know, when the division was left the way that it was, where the top guy retires, like it's time for everybody to try to fight it out. And I think that that's what should happen when, you know, the dominant fighter leads. You know, I think probably the front runner is Kovale, but we don't know what Kovale has left from a psychological standpoint. Like, you know, he had a good win his last fight against Shabransky, but he did what he was supposed to do. But if I'm sitting back and I'm a guy that's going to fight him, or even if I'm the media, like I want to see when you get into another tough situation, when it's back and forth and maybe what you're doing isn't working, like will you revert back to what you did in the war fight, or have you truly changed? So I don't think we're really going to know until, you know, things kind of play out over time. So probably the next year or so, we'll get a better understanding of who the top dog is.
From the outside looking in on the light heavyweight division, if you look at Kovale and you look at Biev and you look at all of the other top guys in the division, Adonis Stevenson, who do you think has the toughest resume to their point? Do you think Kovale has a tougher resume?
In terms of guys he's beat?
In the path to where they are now, has Stevenson had a tougher resume? Has Kovale have a tougher resume? Biev, who do you think?
I think hands down Kovale. Yeah. He's fought the better competition by far. He's done it on the road. He's done it the hard way, Kovale. So he's definitely got the best resume thus far.
What do you think about Rubisa's victory today? It was a very dramatic fight.
Man, the main event was tremendous, man. Like when I'm calling a fight, like I have a sense of the way that it's going, but I'm not judging it. Say like maybe the way Harold is, round for round. So I got to go back and look at it. But it was definitely a tough fight. And right now, I feel like the fight could have went either way. Maybe with Sorang Visai having the edge, maybe, but I don't think we could have complained if it went the other way.
You want to see the rematch?
Man, selfishly, I do. I want to see it like immediately, but I think both guys should probably take an interim fight and then kind of, you know, do some self-evaluation and kind of see if it makes sense physically to bring it back, because that was a brutal fight.
What do you make of Rubisa's story, eating out of a trash can, and then Guy Estrada's mom passed away 20 years ago today?
Man, like both guys had a tremendous story, or have a tremendous story, and that's what shapes a fighter's mind, shapes a fighter's mentality. Like to the average person, like boxing is a foolish game. You're fighting, you're getting hit in the head, you're battling, and to the average Joe, they're like, wow, why would you want to be a part of a sport like this? Well, this sport has saved a lot of lives, and it's put people in positions that they otherwise might not be in some cases. So you look at both guys that just fought in the main event, and their past has shaped them. So that's why they can take a big shot that the average person would cower from and come back and hit the other guy and battle the way that they did for 36 minutes. So I think boxing is a beautifully ugly sport, and I love it.
Just from your bird's eye.
Andre, what's leading Sorang Visai to these wins over elite fighters? Because to the naked eye, it looks a little uncoordinated, a little ugly. So what's he doing?
He's got a lot of fights. He's got almost 50 fights, and he's got a lot of experience. He's got ring experience. He's got life experience, like we just talked about. And you know, when you beat a guy like Chocolatito 2 times and then starch him like he did the second time, like your game's gonna go to the next level. And he's getting recognized in Thailand like never before. He works for the police force. I think they're putting him through school. Like his life is changing, and this is a guy who again was eating out of a trash can and picking up trash. So the things that's happening to him, man, like it's probably something he never thought would happen in his wildest dreams. So, and he's an extremely hard worker from what you see and from what we hear. Like every time we interview him in a fighters meeting after a win, he said, I trained harder for this fight than I did the last. And we're like, you can train harder than you did the last fight? And he finds a way. So hats off to him.
Andre, with Bivol, that stare down, was that like a prelude to a fight?
Man, I don't know, man. I think that I got a lot of people going. You know, I had the opportunity to interview the young man and go watch him train, and we definitely talked about, you know, what a fight would have been like between me and him. And, you know, I think we're going to put that out this upcoming week. It was an intriguing interview. We talked about the elephant in the room, and I got a chance to see him up close, and I appreciate him opening up his training camp to me the way that he did. And he's better than I thought he was. And I know that's just sparring, but he's a lot better than I thought he was up close and personal.
Would you make of Sean Porter calling out?
More than just being strong, like he doesn't abuse his strength, meaning like he's not reckless. Like he has guys on the ropes and he's still thoughtful. You know, I seen him spar cruiserweight the day that I was there, and I saw him spar a middleweight. So I saw him against strength and power, and I saw him against speed, and I liked what I saw.
You think if Kovale fights the winner of Stevenson versus Body Jack, he would win that fight?
It's tough to say. It's tough to say. I really don't know, like, who Kovalev is right now. Like, I don't, and I don't mean that in a I'm not trying to slight him, but coming off of what he just came off of, the last 2 fights that we had, you got to watch him for a little while to kind of see where he's at psychologically. Like, I do like, you know, offensively his performance against Shabransky. Like, he looked explosive. He looked like he was back. And I think you got to give it a little bit of time to see.
What you make of Sean Porter going in the ring, calling out Danny, and then Thurman too?
I think Sean is just trying to make some noise, man. I think he's trying to get recognized. You know, he's a guy that'll fight anybody. He's a throwback type of fighter. You know, I'm not used to seeing Sean do that, but at the same time, I mean, maybe he felt like he had to kind of make some noise. So the 147-pound division, man, is sizzling right now.
Do you agree that everyone's ducking Spence right now? Errol Spence?
It's tough to say. Like, if we still having the same conversation 6 months from now, a year from now, I'm gonna say that they ducking him. But at the end of it all, man, you should want to face the best. Like personally, without any media pressure or any pressure from the fans, like, you should want to face the best. Like, personally, me, I want to see where I'm at. Like, I'm down for tune-ups. I'm down for stay busy fights. But at a certain point, if you the guy on the block, hey, man, I got to see you, and you got to see me, and let's let the chips fall where they fall. So I think that's the mentality of the other 47-pounders. It makes it tricky because some of them are on the same team, so to speak, you know, advised by the same guy, so I don't know how that works. But hopefully they get it on, man, and I think Terrence Crawford, man, I think that could be the biggest fight in boxing right now that people aren't talking about is him and Errol Spence.
Who are your top 5 welterweights right now?
The final question, guys, because we have to go.
That's tough. That's extremely tough.
Canelo Triple G has rematch has been finalized, has a location. Does it go the same way? Who wins out?
I don't know. I mean, I think on paper, you in some cases you favor the guy with the greater imagination, the guy that has more tools in the toolbox, and that's Canelo. You similar to me and Kovale. We had a close fight the first time. The guy with the imagination took it to the next level. So you kind of assume that that's what's going to happen, but you don't know. I mean, I think Golovkin has a lot to prove, and Canelo has a lot to prove. So I'm excited about it from a fan standpoint. I want to see it, and hopefully it's clear cut, whatever happens.
How's retirement?
All right, guys. Sorry, I got to pull Andre. We have to go. Thank you.
Andre, who's your favorite fighter?
Pleasure, Andre.
I mean, I like a lot of them, man. I don't want to shout one person out, but I like a lot of them. Huh?
Shout out 3 then.
Can't hear you.
Shout out 3.
I'm shouting them all out, man. Right. I respect them all, bro. I love them all, and I'm supporting them all, man, especially the young guys coming up.
What do you tell your fans?
Man, I appreciate the continued support, man. A lot of people would think that because I'm retired, like, it's, you know, like I don't, like my fans aren't still rocking with me, man. They still show up, man. It's still love, bro. Like, I'm thankful, man.